It's 9/11 here.
Nah, how about that? I see it like as a positive number now, because it also can mean change, and change can be a good thing. So
Hello, I think we're live. Pretty
hey
sure.
everybody.
I wish it would tell you, because it's really, you're literally just sitting there like, is this live? What's going on? I don't know. So I think we're live.
Woohoo!
Welcome back, Justin.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, want to get my own channel launched and spend some time trying to get that to work, but we're getting there. It's not there yet. We'll get there soon.
Yeah. Are you ready to mention like your channel name, or do you want to wait a bit? I know you were working on it today, you said.
I have the name, but I shouldn't mention it yet just because if I have to change it to something else,
Makes sense.
I'll have to
Makes
do
sense.
that. So, but
Yeah,
thank you for offering.
totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy 1010 portal.
Yeah. Happy.
And yeah,
I love that.
I feel like there's always something. There's always some kind of energy or full moon or portal or something going on.
Yeah. That was
And
one I hadn't even thought about
yeah,
until just
yeah,
said
I
it.
had a like, I don't know, just with the 1010, like within tarot, it's endings, right? But it's endings with new beginnings coming. And that's totally the energy that we're in. Even like with the full moon that we just had, it's really about these, like, really ending all this stuff so that we can truly come into like our true authentic self, shining our light. Like I really feel that like October, we're really going to see a lot of that. So I
Yeah.
feel like this portal right after the full moon is pretty cool.
Yeah. That is awesome. And
How
that
have you
full
been?
good. That full moon was interesting yesterday too. Like that was a bit of a challenge for me, just going out to the grocery store, and everyone was super on edge, like all like just the people shopping and stuff. Everyone was like looking over their shoulder at each other and like kind of like tense and everything. And driving back, I saw like a couple of car accidents and stuff, but nothing super serious. So I just, for me, like it was a time of really reminding myself of my connectedness to source and feeling that. And like honestly, now seeing external circumstances like that doesn't. I mean, I've worked really, really hard on this, but it doesn't ensnare me anymore. Like I immediately work on going within when that kind of stuff is going on, and
Yeah.
that always gets me through.
Well, that's the thing with full moons, right? Is that they usually are pretty like intense.
Yeah,
And I actually didn't go out. I mean, I went to my mom's because she did have happy day of
yeah,
Thanksgiving,
yeah,
of gratitude to all the Canadians.
yeah.
But yeah, so my mom yesterday had supper, but I had already bought the stuff that I needed, because I just had a thing of like, I don't want to go out that day to the grocery store. So I
No
already
spot
like,
not to.
yeah. And then I remember you like in our chat, you had like told how your day was, and I was like, yeah, I'm good that I didn't go out.
You were wise
Um,
not to.
I want to try to make sure this time I don't neglect our chat. Can you see
Yeah.
the chat? I don't know if you can see it. But I just want to say hi to everyone. Check in and see how
Yes.
you guys are doing right now on this, you know, post full moon in Aries, which I don't know if any of you saw my video on it, but Aries is a fire sign. So like lots and lots of fiery energy. Leah, manifesting Marin. Hey, hey, how you guys doing? We've got Ocean. Actually, it was Ocean who encouraged me to come on tonight.
Oh,
So thank
nice.
you, Ocean.
Yes, thank
Justin
you.
and I had been talking about, we're like, yeah, we need to do another show. We should jump on again. And then Ocean had sent me a message being like, hey, do you want to go live tonight? And I was like, maybe this is the night Justin and I go live again.
Yeah,
But
it's
how's your day today been?
pretty. Oh, you're asking the chat. Sorry. I can't see the chat, but that's okay.
Oh, you can't?
Well, it's weird. Like I can open a window that says chat, but there's nothing there. So, but
I
I'm good.
wonder if it only shows up on my end. I really have no idea how any of this technology works.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm pretty sure we were live again before I realized we were live, but it doesn't tell you. It just has this like loading thing. So you're like sitting there like do, and the whole time it's live, and you're like, oh, okay.
Thanks, YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube, but whatever.
Yeah, at least we didn't like. At least we were careful not to talk about certain subjects this time.
Yeah,
so.
that's not allowed on YouTube.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what is yeah, Maren, you're Aries. How are you doing in this? I thought about you actually. This moon has me extra. Yeah, I bet. I actually I should have looked at my chart to see where Aries falls in my chart, to kind of see where it would be affecting me. So Ocean says, hi, Justin.
Hi, Ocean. Thank you for getting us on here tonight.
Yeah, and Leah says, I agree. I feel new beginnings energy. I too, I really feel that. I thought I would quickly, I posted this on my Telegram, but I know everyone's not on Telegram, but I really liked this. It was a post that I shared today, and it just talked about like the 1010 portal. So I thought I'd like read it to you guys. The heavens that open to allow the blessed light to flow through, to spread through the atmosphere, and to reach the people, to give the necessary blessings to who can hold the light, to guide and direct those who do not. This magical portal you have reached is here to aid you to reach the shifts that would bring you metamorphosis towards your divine aspects. And butterflies keeps coming up in like so many like readings or cards I've drawn. So it just, even energy healings, there's been butterflies coming. So that makes so much sense. There is no more waiting, dearest ones. The change is here to benefit you, to transform you. You have watched your walk, oh, sorry, we have watched you walk in the physical reality and strive, but the struggle is at an end. Cheer, evaluate.
Is it elevate?
Elevate, thank you. I'm not a good reader, so reading out loud's always like the worst thing. Okay. Cheer, elevate, and dance through what you feel. Transparency. The gate of the heavens have opened. What a joyful occasion this is. What joins you next is a magical journey. Higher consciousness, cheer. That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
So I wanted to read that out in case anybody is struggling right now or having a hard time. You know, either with it's with these energies, if it's with, you know, life right now. I know even like in Canada here with Thanksgiving, this can be really triggering for some people. This is a really hard time for other people too, like with what's gone on in the last 3 years. They've lost like family and friends to be able to go and celebrate this kind of stuff with. So like, I think this is like a really like, there's a lot of dense energy right now. Like there's heavy, dense energy. But I feel like if we harness this, like this Aries full moon, like this fire, because fire can just break through anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you think about that?
Oh, for sure. Like if you harness it and transmute it in a way that flows through you, you can use it to inspire you and give you focus and drive and creativity. And you mentioned butterflies. When I was on my back deck, the other day I was meditating out there, and there were just like tons of them flying up around the trees and everything. And I've been seeing them a lot of places too, like on cards and just on just stuff I've been seeing around. So it is a time, like a good reminder from the universe for transformation and what we can do for ourselves, like to empower ourselves. And don't I mean, and I say this to myself as much as to anyone, but we shouldn't if we let ourselves get held down in the stuck dense energy, we stay in our cocoon, and we don't want to move out. But there's so much beautiful potential before us that we're not taking advantage of and not living our fullest for, and it feels so amazing.
Yeah.
So
it's so true. And again, it goes to that whole 10-10, right? Like it's this, ending of, being a caterpillar and this life of what it was like as a caterpillar, but you're literally starting this like beautiful, magical life where you are like flying, and you're so beautiful that everybody that looks at you is like, oh my gosh, there's a butterfly,
yeah.
So like, I really feel that this is the energy. We're in that like transformative energy. We're in our cocoon, and we are just ready to like break through, shine our true authentic light. That authenticity is like really coming through, I think.
Absolutely. There was a time I never would have been on a YouTube live. So
me too, trust me. I want to light the Harley Ray Soul Tribe candle.
Ooh,
I feel like
cool.
every time I light this, the Soul Tribe it's like beaming them in. Like, here you
That
go,
is awesome.
guys.
Oh, and just as an aside, I've started doing the fulvic and the liver detox from ACENT, and I just feel incredible after that. My thoughts have been a lot clearer. It's just been everything else, like it's just been so much better. So yeah,
awesome.
really,
I forgot to ask you about that actually.
yeah, it's the real deal, guys. And there's no, like, I'm not being paid to say that or anything else. Like, it really is.
They'll pay you after.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Ocean, our community is so important. I agree. It really is so important. So I really thank you for the encouragement of jumping on tonight so that we can connect with all of you beautiful souls. Lori, how's it going? Lori says, hi to Justin and myself. I don't know what's where in my chart, but I have messy, physical, and emotional these past love. I know Lori's like building a house right now, so I can only imagine, like, yeah. Just be gentle on yourself, girl.
Yeah. Lots of love to you, Lori. You'll get there.
Yeah. Building a house would not be an easy thing.
Yeah. Kudos, like seriously, that is incredibly cool, but also, yeah, such a big life thing to do. But when you're done, you're gonna feel incredible that you did it. So stick with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen like her and her husband, I'm assuming it's your husband or your partner, sorry. They had built a pyramid that they have like over their bed. Like I've seen people have the pyramid that they can sit under, but they actually have one over their bed. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't wait to see your house.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've always thought it would be cool to have like a pyramid room in the house or something like that. But that's the kind of thing that you have to build it for. You have to build it yourself. So
yeah.
Kudos to you guys with whatever you're doing.
Her husband. Okay, yeah. And hi from Michigan. I don't know how to say this. Ashwana, maybe? That's beautiful. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. I'm really bad at pronouncing things, and you can't see the chat.
I'm sorry. If I could, I would be up.
I wonder why you can't see the chat. Like, are you on my YouTube channel? On
the window. Actually, I'm just looking at the Zoom meeting window.
It's not in the Zoom one. This is in YouTube.
Let me go on there, and I'm gonna.
And then you'll have to like
mute it. Yeah.
Mute it. That was like, I always make that mistake where I don't mute it, and then it starts playing our playback. Shauna, there we go. Hello. Okay, I totally see. It's like X Shauna X. I was trying to pronounce it like Ashwana or something, but it's just literally an X and an X before her name. My bad. Still a beautiful name.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it. So I won't say anything.
Yeah, then you can see you can see the chat as well.
Okay.
So Justin and I were talking a little bit about Thanksgiving, because we have a lot of the same beliefs, and like we both practice or celebrate, practice, I don't really know what the right word is, but more like the changes of the season, more like traditional kind of celebrations opposed to the like commercialized things. So like with today being Thanksgiving in Canada, we kind of got talking about a few things. And you brought up a good thing that I totally forgot, because we don't do this here in Canada. I mean, we do have Boxing Day right after Christmas, which is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
But your guys' Thanksgiving, which is next month, right?
Yeah.
I mean, technically it's mine too, since I am an American. And we do celebrate, like my family does do both. We do, like my mom's always, like I don't personally celebrate them, but my mom has always celebrated Canadian and American Thanksgiving. But you brought up a good point that it's literally like the day of giving thanks, and then the next day is Black Friday.
Yeah. The next day is let's all kill each other for color TVs or plasma TVs or whatever. And I like, it's unfortunate that Thanksgiving, which should be about like gratitude and coming together, and like you were saying, it is something that we should be doing every day. But unfortunately, like our holidays, like our equinox and our harvest celebrations are, askew from the actual day often. And then like when we have them, there is so much stress and so much anxiety built up around them. For one thing, like there's all this pressure to like perform and like have like this incredible meal and like all of these items and stuff. Yeah. Like, like it's so much. And then on top of that, they put like the biggest shopping day of the year right afterwards. And there are people who actually will like trample each other just to get stuff. And I mean, we know who's behind it.
Words we can't say on here.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but it's an unfortunate inversion of what that time of year really should be about. I mean, especially like when it comes to like the harvest and the gratitude for all of the things that Mother Gaia and Source have given us and blessed us with. And I've never, thank God, like my parents, were not into Black Friday really. I've never participated in it, but I've seen like, the aftermath, and I'm sure everyone here has. And I've known a couple of people who would get like super excited about it and stuff, like, and they can't wait to get like this one thing, and it's always like the next big like thing to show off, I guess, or that there's even like this cultural pressure to have, like, for some reason everyone has to have like the latest stereo or like the latest TV or the latest video game console or whatever it is. And if you don't, like, there's this feeling that like you're missing out, like, whereas like we're really missing out on that time that we should be spending together.
Yeah. Being like truly grateful for like this now moment and everything that you have right now.
Yeah.
Like this whole keeping up with the Joneses, like, come on.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Who actually wants that anyway?
Yeah, I know. I'm
not
so
me.
No, not at all. I'm so glad, like, as a kid, I just like, even as a kid, I didn't give a crap about people's opinion about things like that. Like I was just not into it. Like I didn't pay it. Like, I'm like, why do people pay attention to that? It feels like such a waste. And I wouldn't have put it in these terms, but it feels like such a waste of energy, people spend so much time concerned about what other people think of them, and that they're not like doing the thing. And like, neighborhoods, you have your homeowners associations and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. We literally like spend so much of our day like either like working or in school. Like the majority of people are like working or in school, and I think you talked about this earlier in our chat that we had, and it's like, you know, you get these holidays and it's like you finally get this time to like
Yeah.
spend with those who mean the most to you that you get literally no time to spend with. And then
Yeah.
it's like there's all this pressure, you got all these things going on, and it's like, does anybody really enjoy it? There's all this like frustration. You know, I feel like now, like even sometimes with around like my nieces and nephews are older now, and it's like there's just like electronics, right? And it's just like there's so much disconnect, and I'm like, can we just like hang out, like talk or something? And yeah, it's just like it's crazy like how much disconnect there is. And yeah, like we're saying, we don't have the Good Friday, or not Good Friday, the Black Friday here. Although for some reason Black Friday has come into Canada, and people like expect these like sales now on like Black Friday, and they expect all these things to happen, and I'm like, peeps, like, isn't it bad enough that we already have Boxing Day? Like, why do we need to have Black Friday too? That's not our thing. That's a state's thing. Like, why are you bringing that here? But it's the same thing. People will literally like, they line up like super early, like crack of dawn. They're lined up. They're like trampling over people to get all these sales and all these deals the day after Christmas, like the day after, like, you know, this supposed to be this beautiful time. And yeah, it's crazy. I'm very thankful my daughter was born on Boxing Day, so it's like our days never like at a mall. I've worked so many Boxing Days in retail that it's traumatized.
Oh, I'm sorry. Likewise, yeah. It's just similar working around holidays. It's always a nightmare. And you know, unfortunately, people are so caught up in like getting certain things for certain people, because that's where, and I'm not saying that, you know, finding the right gift for the right person isn't important. It is, but they get so caught up in it that like if you're in any way not meeting their demands, like they turn nasty.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I'm glad you brought that up, because for me with gifts, I don't like this like obligation feeling of like having to buy somebody a gift because it's like this holiday or it's this. I'm more of like, you know, if I see something that like makes me think of somebody, or, you know, maybe I've heard them say something and it's like, oh, I would love, you know, I have the opportunity, I'd love to be able to like buy this for them.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, that's where I'm at. So like there's times, I mean, it may be throughout the year and maybe I give it to them out the year. If it's close, I'll save it for something. But I feel like that's another thing that's just like put on us. It's like all these like commercialized holidays that we are told we have to follow, like we said, that are also taken away from like, they're taken from these like traditional times of the year, you know, like the equinoxes, the solstices, like all these, you know, changes of season, all these different things that have been around like forever, really, since the beginning of time. And they move it a couple of days, so it's not on that same day. And then yet it's this like chaotic, hectic day, and it's not anything near like what these true meanings of these things, you know, like we talked before when you were on about how, you know, they're basically like pagan like traditions. But even the word pagan is really like triggering to a lot of people because of the way we've been made to believe what pagans are, like what we've been told. And not saying that there's not like dark people who practice pagan. I mean, that with anything, there's always gonna, I mean, there's people within the religious sector, there's a lot of darkness. So, you know, it's not, it's, I gotta plug in here. It's not like, it's not, I don't think really anything is white or black, you know, it's, there's so many gray areas, and it's all about intention. It's all about how somebody, I mean, a true pagan, they know that, you know, whatever you're putting out is coming back to you threefold. So like if you're putting out negativity or you're doing something that's going against someone's free will, that's going to come back to you threefold. So Yeah, best not to like
which is,
universal law is a pretty big thing.
I was just going to say the universal law of correspondence. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see with the chat. I'm sorry guys. It's really hard to like I've said this before, but like John Claude and like Jason make it look so easy to be able to like chat and then have a chat on as well.
They
So I'm
do.
sorry guys. I'm not trying to forget about you guys.
Yeah, I've
So
been looking
Mark,
at some of their
oh, this
comments.
is good. Mark says, remember in Snow White, the seven dwarfs would sing, hi ho, off to work we go. Not in this reality. Has always said, hally ho, home from work we go. Mandela effect. Has that changed? Is that one of the ones that changed in the Mandela effect? I didn't
guess
know
so.
that. I'm gonna have to look that up because
Yeah.
definitely I remember hi ho, off to work we go.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, cool. That's like mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
They've changed it now to
Oh, was it like magic mirror on the wall now?
magic mirror on the
Yeah,
wall. Yeah, and I was like, no, I remember without a doubt it was mirror, mirror on the wall.
absolutely.
Shauna, yeah, that's the word. We can't say that word.
Shauna is mentioning how she's dealing with, as like she was bartending for so long, and people would panic and get out of control, and how they're more like, they end up being more like therapists than actual therapists sometimes.
Oh,
You
I
know?
could only imagine the
Yeah,
amount of, especially when people get alcohol into them. It's just this like they just release all
yeah,
this stuff. So it's like I can't even imagine. Also,
yeah.
if you go into like alcohol, I've shared this before on my Telegram. I should share it again. Like the meaning of alcohol and that, like the evil spirits, like all that.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, and it lowers the inhibitions and everything else, so it's a lot easier for those things to get in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah. Ocean had talked about, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, Lori said, I worked in retail store on Black Friday and I saw the intensity firsthand. I was shocked. Yeah, I think in the States too, it always seems to be a little bit more than in Canada. I feel like in Canada, people will like trample you and then they'll still be like, oh, sorry. Where in the States, it's like, no, sorry, I was here
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. Well, I grew up near, like, in Philadelphia, and it's supposed to be the city of brotherly love, but we would sometimes jokingly call it the city of brotherly shove, especially around those times of year. And just watching like like the news and stuff, and because of course the news makes a big deal out of it, because then they're getting energy out of it too. um and this was way back before I was aware, but just watching it, it was like, wow, what is wrong with people? It's just crazy. So
Yeah. What did so Lori's saying, we adopted a family 1 year for Christmas. Our boys still talk about it. Yeah, like that's totally wherever we can give, right, to people who, I mean, nobody should in this world that we live in. I mean, my kids even know this. Like they
yeah,
even talk about like, how can there be these like millionaires that have like all these cars, all these houses, spend ridiculous amount of money on clothing that really is no different. It just has a label on it. Um, and yet there's people who have no food or no house or whatever it is, like there should never be that.
yeah,
Which I do feel like will be fixed and come to a balance here to come. Like I really do feel like that was going to happen. But until that time, it's so beautiful, Lori, to be able to do things like that. And yeah, I think that too is something that you don't forget those things, those are things that truly do stick with you forever.
absolutely, like more so than like that thing that someone wanted to get, that gets thrown in the trash down the road, like that piece of technology that gets replaced or whatever.
Yeah.
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 I like what you said earlier about, trying to find something meaningful to somebody, or like you said, just kind of making a mental note of that and bringing it back years later, or however much time later. And
Mhm.
that really does make so much of a difference, and people really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's kind of how gifts for me have been for like a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the whole like, oh, I mean, I also, we've talked about this before. I don't celebrate, I mean, my family does still celebrate Christmas, but like me and my kids, we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Yule, the
Yeah.
winter solstice. And we do try to do things differently. Again, like one of my best friends, Erin, and her kid, like their family has always like celebrated, I think, since she's had kids. And she does like such a beautiful job. So we usually will do things together. We usually wake up and we'll watch the sunrise. We'll do a fire. There's been some years where she'll do like a spiral in her backyard, and
Oh, cool.
just to like be more intentional. Like, there's different like poems and stuff that she reads with her kids. I read with my kids. Um,
That's
the
beautiful.
Yule fairies will come. Just like
Yeah.
just like Santa.
Yeah.
But it's different. I mean, I truly believe in fairies, so
Yeah.
I don't think I shouldn't say I never believed in Santa. Obviously, I did believe in Santa at one point, but that's also like there's a subject that's like super traumatizing. Like I
Yeah.
remember one of my like super super good friends. Her niece was, man, I think she was like 11 or 10, like kind of at this age where you just assume that they know. And I think it was her parents actually that said something to her about like having to get things ready and stuff because they had to set up for Santa for her younger brother. And then she just had this like look on her face of like just pure like devastation, and then started crying. And they all of a sudden realized that at that moment she still believed in Santa Claus, and they literally just exposed to her that like they were Santa having to set it all up. And yeah. It's just like, that is pretty traumatizing for me. Like I believe in fairies. I know that fairies exist and are around us. One of my spirit guides is a green fairy.
Yeah. And I told you about that light being that might have been some kind of fairy or air or sylph type of being that I saw in the forest at one time, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. So well, what's unfortunate too about like the Santa thing is that makes so many kids like you were sad and brokenhearted, and then that hurts our belief in things that do exist and our ability to perceive and see them.
It breaks that trust too, hey? Like that the trust is broken, and that imagination kind of gets like broken a little bit too, right? Of like, you've believed in this, and at some point everybody comes to that like realization of like, whether it's somebody telling you or you just come to it on your own. It's a hard one.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of an like an intentional negative spell, because you have this Santa programming, and then like that's broken, and then that it's kind of part of the child's breaking of like their childlike nature, their inner child, like it's part of like the killing of the inner child and losing that connection. And then you get more and more into like the corporate world and just like things being disconnected, and then just kind of shuffled along into the consumerism and all that other stuff.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Unfortunately,
yeah, I think this year I'm gonna actually incorporate, which my friend does this as well. I think I'm gonna, because my kids, well, my son mostly, I think my girls are still kind of into it. They're more into the like dressing up for Halloween, Santa again.
Yeah.
There is a traditional holiday that Halloween is based off of.
Yeah.
Of course. So we do like, I'll celebrate that as well. But I mean, the dressing up part is fun. Like I think I'm gonna dress up this year. I think I might dress up as Isis this year.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, I was like putting it off, but my kids are both really excited for it, so I think I'm gonna do something too.
Yeah,
So
your kids are at that age where it's like
yeah,
it's so fun.
yeah,
And I think this year, so yeah, like I'll take them out trick or treating, which I mean the last couple of years too. It's actually really sad to see how some people are just not even doing Halloween anymore with
yeah,
all this crap that happened.
yeah,
But I remember the first year that they tried to cancel how, at least here, they tried to cancel Halloween. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there better still be people
yeah.
giving out candy. And I took my kids and I saw, like, I'm sorry, guys, like, the most insane things. Like, people literally were doing this, like, shoot where you would, like, put the candy in
Oh, yeah.
it and, like, it would come down. And I remember
I
my
saw
kids,
that
like,
too.
it like never worked, and my kids are like, why can't they just give us the candy? Like, this is just so weird. Or people had like written on it like what day it was packaged on, so that you knew it had been in quarantine for like so many days, or like just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like tongs, that was another one where and I'm sorry if I'm really not trying to like,
Yeah.
I have to laugh about it because it's otherwise it's just so like I would just remember being like, I'm literally living in not the Matrix, it was the what would I always say, that one movie, um somebody help me out.
It's not Idiocracy, right?
No,
No. Okay.
I don't know if my kids remember what it was. I'd always say it. The Matrix keeps coming into my head, but it wasn't the Matrix.
Okay.
I'll have to try to think about it. But I'd because it was just like, is this like seriously happening? Like, there's no way this is life right now. Like, you know, people would have these on and gloves
Yeah.
on and then like tongs. And I'm like, what's happening right
Yeah.
now? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I know. Well,
Um,
and sorry, not to interrupt, but like just for me, the best part of doing the trick or treating is getting to meet my neighbors and like get to see them and like have that interaction with them. And there is also like there is a positive ritual aspect to it too about like protection. And it like you're also like if you're getting to know the people in your neighborhood, who's around you, who your kids are associating with, and it gives you more of a cognizance. Like, whereas like it's a little bit out there to just randomly go knocking on everyone's door most other days of the year. So, I mean, you could probably find a good reason to do it, but yeah, that's something I've always really appreciated about it is the
yeah,
community building
it's
aspect.
fun, right? And it,
Yeah,
like you said, it is nice to be able to like actually meet the people that live around you. And
yeah,
um but yeah, it was this last couple these, I hope that this year is better, that it's not so like weird.
yeah.
um
We had the shoot too. One of our
yeah,
neighbors.
that was the weirdest thing to me. I'm like, what? Like, and how long did that take you to make that?
Yeah.
And I like, I actually I'm very big on like, my kids don't eat all that crap,
Yeah.
so it's always like a big, there'll be certain things that I'll allow them to have. And in short, like usually Halloween will come and we still have a ton of candy left over from the last year, because not just me, but my kids usually don't like that candy either.
Yeah.
I'm very strict about it. But so this year I think we're going to do the like the candy fairies, so
Oh,
they
no.
can give their candy to the fairies, and then the candies will get them back some healthier treats. And still candy,
Yeah.
like there's healthier ways of doing it, right? And
I yeah, I've been thinking about that very thing, and I even got like a bunch of organic candy,
yeah,
which is at least better,
it's better,
to
right?
like
Like I
'cause-
don't want to take everything away from my kids, but I
yeah,
also, and my kids are super understanding with knowing what is in these things. They because I talk openly with them about it.
yeah,
They know what sugar does. They see it. Like if my son has sugar, they see him go crazy, right?
yeah,
Or they have a stomach ache, or so let's see
yeah.
here.
Mine are
Sorry
starting
guys, I'm like, I'm bad for not, it's hard to like keep up with this. um
they do make it look easy, don't they? John Claude and Jason.
They do. Yeah. Oh, Shauna, I'm so, so sorry. Wow. Sorry, I'm just reading that. Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely sending you love and light. That would not have been easy.
Yeah, Shauna, I'm really sorry about that. And if it's okay, I can share a quick personal story to relate in a way. My brother had he had been clean from substances for, I want to say, like 3 years, and unfortunately, the girlfriend that he was with got him to try some heroin, and it was, no, it was, I think it was cocaine, and it was on Christmas Eve, and it was like, or it was like the day right after Christmas, I think. And he was missing his family because we couldn't be with him at the time. And I think he just, he gave in. He was feeling those emotions, and it was laced with fentanyl, and he passed after that. Now, on the positive side, like, so I just want to say, like, I absolutely understand, and fentanyl is a major, major problem. And on the positive side, like, we've my family's had some, my sister's actually had some really positive experiences with him visiting her after he had passed, to let her know that he was okay and that everything was fine. And so it seemed like, his soul, it's time to move on in a way. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing at all, like, we should have that. I'm just saying, like, there was that healing aspect to it on the other side of it. But love and light to you, and I'm so sorry about your friend. So,
yeah, so sorry. Thank
yeah.
you for sharing that too, Justin. It helps, right?
Yeah.
This is, again, like Ocean was talking about, like, this is why this community is so important, because each and every one of us have something to share, or hold space, or just to be there for each other. And that is a really emotional for both of you, both of those things. And I know you've shared that with me a little bit about your brother and some of the beautiful things. Like, this is where I think a lot of people, and as we share, we start realizing that, oh, wait, maybe that thing that I thought was like crazy, or I talked myself out of believing happening, actually did happen. And this person did actually connect with me. And I spoke a little bit about this on my last live, how my grandma leaves these like pins, like not like a button pin, but like a pin. And I was told that this was going to happen. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, and then when I found my first one, well, my son found the first one, it was like I instantly knew that was from my grandma. And then the anniversary of her passing just the other day, I actually had spoke out to her and said, like, show me another sign. I would love to just, like, I mean, I know she's around, but I just would like to, sometimes it's nice just to see that sign. And yeah, it was like before 12 o'clock at night that I landed out rummaging through like a really old jewelry box of mine that I haven't looked through in forever, but something had told me to look in there. And like one of the very last things that I had picked out, I was like, what is it? Like, what is that? And I pulled it out, and it was like it was a bong, which is kind of funny, but it was like, that would be her too, that she would put something like that. And it was just like this little like pin thing that, like, I didn't even know I had, like, who knows how many years ago I got that. And it was just, that was her way of being, hi, I'm here.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That was
Yeah. It's cool because there are a lot of things. I mean, obviously in this time of the year, the veil is very, very thin, a lot thinner than most times of the year. So a lot of these kind of things, are happening and people are experiencing it. And there are people that, I mean, because this was such a hard time to go through, they have chosen to cross over, but they're able to connect more and help more. Like Julie and Sophie have talked about this before with their dad. Other people, I mean, I've experienced this in a very beautiful reading, channeling that I did for someone, which I had never done before. But when she asked me, I was like, sure. And I'm not going to go into detail. But it was just this like the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced, you know,
Oh,
to
wow.
see somebody from the other side and them saying like, you know, what had happened, how they're going to connect, and then having confirmation within days that they are connecting. And just,
That
it's
is beautiful.
cool.
Also, yeah. That is awesome. By the way, Gwen wants to say hi. So
Oh, hi, Gwen.
she's been like poking me this entire time. Like, why aren't you petting me?
Yeah, I wonder where Salem is. Salem's been showing up in most of my videos, but he gets mad. He'll get into my plants. Like, was it today's video? He literally pulled out one of my plants. I was filming and I was just like watching him and I'm like, oh, he like knew. He's like, and he would look at me and then he'd pull some more and then look at me and I'm like, oh, you're so bad.
Thank you, Ocean. Yeah, she just, or Salem's just like, oh, you're sitting here. Why aren't you just paying attention to me?
Oh yeah. He'll knock things over too.
Yeah,
Black cats are funny.
yeah, they are. They honestly, they have some of the most personality out of a lot of the cats that I've known.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they're not this like evil thing that people make you
no,
think. Black cats too. I don't know if it's like this in the States, but you on Halloween, you actually have to keep your cat inside because people
yeah,
will steal your cat if they see a black cat and do like horrific things to it.
yeah,
Like it's crazy like what people do.
it is that way here as well. And
That's
unfortunately,
insane.
yeah. So I always keep an eye on this one at that time. I mean, she's an indoor cat most of the time, anyways. Like I let her on the back deck, but she does try to get out now and then, and you know, not especially not this time of year. No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, don't even risk it, people. If you've got a black cat, don't risk it.
Yeah.
I swear my cat is experiencing being a cat for the first time. Like, I think this is my cat's first incarnation of a cat, like being a cat. There's so many times where I watch my cat and the things that it does too, like it's just not like I've never had a cat like this before. Definitely seems more dog than cat to me, or other animal. But like he does things that my dog doesn't even do. Like my cat is the one that like you cannot leave food. Like if I turn my back from food, my cat is there. He's stealing it. He'll get into my garbage and steal things out of the garbage. I have to keep both the dog and cat food like locked up because my cat will get, and like every night I wake up in the morning and there's something that my cat has knocked off my like wicker cabinet and there's food all over the floor. Maybe a raccoon, I don't know.
Maybe.
But not a cat.
Yeah, Gwen's like, she's also, I think if she might have been a dog in a past life because all she wants is someone to pat her and like, and she will also steal food off your plate if you don't watch. Thankfully, she hasn't gotten into the trash yet, but I don't know, maybe just be a matter of time.
I seriously don't even have to do this stuff with my dog. And my dog was a stray, Like,
yeah.
It's so crazy.
He's just grateful to have a good home, so he knows better.
He is. Yeah, he totally is.
Yeah.
What is okay, what am I missing here?
Shauna had been talking about watching out, like she's for Halloween candy, especially like Smarties, because any like stuff like that it's not sealed either, so that is definitely something to watch out for.
That's so true. Like another reason why, I mean, not saying that everybody has to adopt the candy fairies,
Yeah.
but something like that, like it is like there's crazy people out there. Like I don't know why they would want to do this kind of stuff, but it is true, Shauna. Like people are cray. Like, and you do really have to watch. Oh yeah, Lori, I remember you saying that before. We were Halloween on the outside and Christmas on the inside, and the kids look forward to Santa answering the door. I remember you mentioning that before, that you were big into like, you were already set up for like Christmas, and you would do the Santa opening the door. I love that.
That's awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree, Shauna. The trick or treat candy is not good candy at all.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that my kids aren't really into that candy. I mean, I talk about Nestle and all that. I mean, I don't, maybe I shouldn't be talking about that on here. There's so many things you actually can't talk about on here.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Probably. You probably can't speak any truth about like that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've talked to my kids, and it's hard because, I know Kit Kats was one that they always really liked. I used to like Kit Kats too, but even like when you stop eating a lot of these things and you start like detoxing and doing all these kind of stuff that's like really good for you, eating clean, a lot of this stuff, like if I even have a bite of it, it's just like, it's gross. Like there's nothing in me that wants to like have more of it. And
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my favorite used to be Reese's peanut butter cups, but I still like I did find like there's an organic version and it's called Justin's.
I know. Those are like my all-time favorite ones. They're insanely expensive, but they're so worth it.
I know, right? Yeah, they are. But like, and even though they're expensive, on the other hand, is like when you have it once in a while, like you appreciate it more. I can't do all that sugar anymore either. I just get sick like right away from most of that stuff now, and like I'll have like some of the more organic candy, like it doesn't have a lot of the sugar in it, like nearly as much, because there's also like M&Ms and some like organic M&Ms and other stuff. And honestly, I crave like dark chocolate more than anything. And I know that I know that means
my kids now eat dark chocolate. Like when we get treats, I get the extra dark chocolate and they get the dark chocolate. And that's what they like. You just reminded me, because I went through this like phase of making my own like Reese's or Justin's at home with like dark chocolate. And you can do it with either peanut butter or like cashew butter, whatever kind of like nut butter you want. But I had lost the recipe, so I got to find it again because it was such a like easy recipe. And again, it was like they were so good, like nothing compared to them. And I don't know why. I think I stopped making them because I would like blow.
I don't blame you.
They were so good. So if I like had them in the house, I would just like scoop one out. Linda, Linda, I love Linda. How are you doing? How are things going in Albuquerque? It's so funny. I feel like Linda's like an auntie to me. I'm like, that's my auntie.
Nice.
Times have changed. Times have changed.
Yeah.
In Candy, it was checked. Yeah, it's been a thing. Has been a thing. I'm really blessed that I have kids that they don't like eat candy before they get home. Like they've always been good at like dumping out their candy when they get home, and we look through it. They're okay with things that I'm just like garbage, 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 like I mean, but I know a lot of kids too will just eat like as they're out, and you really have no idea like what they're taking in. And the sugar, like Shauna is saying, the sugar is just, it literally is like, I don't know if we can talk about things like, I'll put it in the chat. Actually, I don't even know how to spell it. Is that how you spell it?
Oh, I said that earlier. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know what, I mean, I've said a few things on here that I still have some videos up, so I don't know. But I really feel that sugar is like that. I mean, there's been studies too. It's not like just me saying that because I'm like a very protective parent, but it really is like that. And if you think about how like it's in everything, and they started at such a young age, right? That like kids need to be eating this, and it's in like, I think about like the sugar on the cereals that I grew up eating.
Yeah.
That stuff is insane. And you would start your day with just this like crazy and like amount of like food coloring in these like,
Yeah.
you know, in this food, like it's not even food either.
No,
Like, I can't imagine there being like a real nutritional value. And then it's like, go to school and sit still in your desk for the next 8 hours while
oh
you're
God.
on this insane like sugar rush.
Yeah. Forget it.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man. Yeah, the amount of sugar in all of that stuff. And even in like baby food has like when they're really little, and I'm not sure about formula. Like I'm not looked into that.
Formula is not very good.
I know it's not good. Yeah. I know that's for sure. But yeah, like it's just like in everything, and even stuff that I'm like, I was at the grocery store earlier and looking at oat milk, and like even the oat milk for some reason had sugar in it. I was like, why?
And a lot of them have like really questionable oils. I'm like, why are you putting these oils in this? Like, can't we just like have pure like oat or almond or like cashew,
Yeah.
you know, all these different things. It's like, why is all this stuff? Why do we always have to add all this crap to everything? I think my kombucha probably has sugar. It feels it. This one tastes really sugary to me. I know it's like,
Is that Kavita?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does have some, but I don't think nearly as much as some of the others.
Yeah, sure. It tastes a little bit, but yeah, it's not really that bad.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I have to say this on here because a lot of times I'm like, oh, I'm not high maintenance. I'm super like chill and like laid back. Also, me is like, is that alkaline water? Like, what's in this? Let me see the recipe. Is that organic? Like, where was that made? What kind of company is that? What are their values?
Yeah. Well, it's that training you get like when you've gone through an awakening.
Yeah.
And, right. I mean, you're trained now to like be aware of that kind of thing. And you know.
It's so funny because I'm like, oh, maybe I am high maintenance, but just
well,
to like a higher standard.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, likewise, you know, but like that's why meditation is like later on in the awakening journey, because it helps us deal with all of that, I think.
So true. So true.
Because there was, you know, there was a time when I was like super high strung about everything, and like there are still like a lot of things that I'm like super careful with, especially when it comes to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at least able to like process it now so much better thanks to meditation and
being able to like really sit with something before we like react to it or like spiral in this like
like that post the Queen of Ravens shared on Telegram earlier about Disney. I think I can say, can I say that?
I don't even know if you can say
I'm sorry.
I don't know what things you can say.
The rat with the ears that that post, like I like that triggered something for me, like like a really deep sense memory. And you know, I had to take a minute because when I went on that cruise, like when I went to Disney World, and I went on that cruise, at the time I chalked a lot of it up to just being like a teenager. Like I was like 17. So I was like, oh, this is, you know, this is just me being a teenager, and like all this stuff is for little kids. This was like 20 years ago. So at the time, but I also like on the boat, especially just, oh man, like my brother and I had never had worse, had like fighting than that time. And then it is like there was something that we were picking up on. Now, thankfully, like we were so much better friends in the last few years before he passed, and we got to heal our relationship, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's really what matters. But yeah, at the time, like, you know, Janine's post, like it really, and it like, it's like, yeah, like I know, like like now I'm going back and I'm getting like downloads, you know, and like holy crap, you know.
Yeah. Oof. That's why I kind of put that little like when I shared it in our group, I was like, you might want to sage after this, because it is like it brings up a lot. And
I'd actually saged just before reading that. So,
Good thing. Yeah, it actually brought up some things for me, like to a different aspect of yours. I used to remember, like, my memories of my dad taking us there was like literally the only thing I really remember is that he had me on this like leash thing. Like, it was this like backpack leash thing. And I mean, now I can look back and be like, thank God for whatever reason that you did that, because I wasn't taken. Like, I grew up with my kids, like how I raised my kids with like attachment parenting and wearing them like in baby carrier. So I would always be like, why couldn't he have just put me in like a baby carrier or something like that?
yeah.
Like, why did he have to put me in this like leash? And now I'm like, oh, thank God he did. But
Yeah,
it is
that
like,
was a good thing.
yeah, whether he like, I mean, he didn't know why he was doing it. I know that.
Right.
But he definitely, something was guiding him and protecting me to do that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, have you ever watched any of the paranormal videos of Disney, like in all of the activity? There's tons of activity that goes on after dark, like spiritual activity. So yeah.
That's why I just let my I
Oh,
had to
good
light
idea.
this, because I'm like, oh my God, this is talk about it is just
Yeah.
like,
Sorry. Well,
but
we can change the subject.
that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I do feel like this stuff has to be talked about and come and, so that
Yeah.
people know. I like this, what I say, like, I like to, not that I like to find out about this stuff, but I like to go down these rabbit holes so that I know, so that it's like, I'm aware, especially as a parent, I'm aware of these things. I know why something's like, I never wanted to take my kids there. Like, that was never something that as a parent that I was ever like, I want to take my kids there. Like, that's something I wanted, like, never. And I have a sister that lives there. So like, we could easily have like gone to my sister's and go from there. And it's just like, never.
Right.
And, now that I know what I know, it's like, okay, there's a reason. Like, there's a, it's like, you need to know these things so that it can never happen again.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff, I mean, it's hard. This stuff isn't easy to find out. It's dark.
Yeah. It is,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And are you also referring to the Raven Queen's deep dive that she did? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That like, oh my word, like that was wow. Oh, like,
Yeah. And
that
that one's still on, like, because that was a pay-per-view. So that one would still be on, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. So anybody, I think you guys all know who we're talking about. TVJ, the Queen of Ravens, the one who you can't speak her name of, which is insane.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Like, the things that you can't say on here is just, it's wild.
Yeah, it really is.
It is, like, and I feel like some of that has to be to just expose, right? To show like how insane things have been. But I definitely encourage you, go check out Jean-Claude, his pay-per-view. And I mean, like, you have to be in the right space though to watch those kind of things.
Make sure you're in a good place first.
Yeah, if you're already like not doing very good or not feeling stable, like, I would meditate before going into it. But I would do highly suggest, if you want to truly know, like, I mean, they're like $2.
Yeah.
But yeah, be ready to smudge after, do a cleansing bath with sea salts, or, yeah.
Whatever you need to reconnect to source and to feel grounded and to say, to feel safe, and make sure you do it afterwards or beforehand. Before and
exactly.
after.
And Ocean, I agree. The Beyond Mystic family is where it all started for me. Like, that's where I like, I mean, I cannot imagine whatsoever. I mean, I didn't get into them right away. So probably within the last like 2 years, maybe even a little bit less than that. I don't know how long I've been watching them for now, but I can't imagine not having their shows. I mean, Jean-Claude, the amount of people he has opened me up to, and how much my my spirituality has grown and like just been open to so many different things that I never really would have if it wasn't for them. I hold so much respect and honor for both of them, and for like, I mean, the amazing people that John Claude brings on his show, you know, like so many amazing people. And yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. I'm so glad that they were able to get her up and running on like her own platform, because like honestly, people, um, it's so hard not to say her name, but like, um, I'll just say Janine, because it's like she deserves to be spoken about.
Yeah.
But Janine Uncensored is really amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's hilarious.
It's
I love
always funny
it.
when she realizes she's like, oh yeah, I'm not on YouTube.
I can say it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And you just hear more of the things that she wants to say, because all of her videos on her website are uncut, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys catch the Rumble? I didn't catch it live, but
I did. Yeah.
they went live on Rumble, which was so good to see the two of them together again. Because they do, like I said, John Claude makes it look so easy, but like even his wisdom and knowledge that he brings to things, you know, he always has this setup of like the things they're going to talk through, and he can just find things so quickly, and they're such an amazing duo. Yeah, I'm so blessed for them.
Same here. They've taken me like miles beyond where I was spiritually, and like, you know, just in terms of understanding what's going on in the world and everything, because there's so much information out there, and there's even well-intentioned white hat, you know, positive misinformation. Yeah. I'll say. Sorry, I'm trying to be careful.
I think you can say white hats.
Okay. There's even a lot of that, so it's really, really helpful to have someone to help you, you know, kind of work through it all. And like, honestly, it's helped grow my intuition so much to where now, like, I can honestly almost always, like, whatever it is, like, I can kind of get like like an intuitive hit on it when it comes up, and, you know, in the truth community. You know, it really does make a difference. So
it's so true.
Yeah.
And Janine does such an amazing job at like always, I mean, like her wisdom and knowledge is beyond, like she is. And I actually have to, there's been times where I've had to catch myself to not like put her up on this pedestal, because she is so amazing. But she's the first one to always say, like, I am not your guru, you know, don't put people above you. We're all equal. Like, she has been the one to like really like hone that in, and for me to be like, yeah, like we are all equal. The whole like royal family thing is absurd, which is her word, and I love it. But it really is. I
still want that shirt.
Right? I do too. I need that shirt. But it's like, you know, the fact that like people like kiss their hands, their feet, like all these like weird things, like, and just hold them at this like higher level for what? Like for what? Like, when you actually go down to understand who they are, which is a whole nother story. We won't dive down that one. But it's like, I mean, the same thing with like Hollywood or like all these other things. Like anytime you're holding somebody like above you, or you're, you know, you start that their teachings start overtaking like your intuition and your thinking for yourself, right? Where it's just like, well, why, like, you know, I try to teach my kids, like, you know, I can't think of an example right now of like where it's like, oh, well, we just have to do that. And I'm like, well, why do you have to do that? Well, because that's what we've always been told. And I'm like, yeah, but by who? Like, why is that? Like, to just like ask those questions. Oh, I think it was like my daughter was brushing her teeth at night, and it was like, well, why do you feel like you have to? Well, I don't know. That's what they've always said. And I'm like, well, who always said? The people that like make Crest and Colgate that have fluoride in their toothpaste, and that might get this taken down. I don't know. I'm the worst on my own video saying all the things I shouldn't say. But it's like, who really says these things? Like, I mean, you look at like, I'm not saying don't brush your teeth. I'm not saying that kind of thing, but like, you know,
Well, they
why
make
are we told
fluoride-free
all these
toothpaste.
things? Like, who is it that's telling us these things? It probably is those people. You
Yeah.
know, like,
It,
yeah, that was
it
a rant.
that's okay. Well, I think it was like back in the, I don't know, 1800s when brushing your teeth really became more of a thing. The Romans did it too, like with rags and stuff, but in the 1800s, that's when they like invented toothpaste, and it kind of became like a thing, and you know, started to get used more and more. And I think Crest was probably one of the first, if not the first. Um, but thankfully now, like we have fluoride-free toothpaste,
Yeah.
um,
And you can make your own toothpaste and
yeah, there I know there's like charcoal as well, and I personally do oil pulling, like I do the
yeah.
coconut oil, and that, oh man, like testimonial, like firsthand, anytime I'm having any problem, like any pain or any like anything in my gums or anything at all, immediately go right to that, and it's gone like shortly thereafter. So it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
And I'll do it like 10 minutes, you know, before bed, and sometimes in the morning too. So
It's
really
hard to do. I've done it before. I'm not consistent with it. I actually haven't done it in a really long time. But when you look at the benefits of it, the benefits are really like, they're very beneficial. And but yeah, doing it for like that long was always
well,
like
I
I
know
can't do this.
I'll do it like while I'm doing something else. So
Yeah.
like I'll be maybe listening to Jean-Claude or something
Yeah.
at the same time.
That's
So
a good idea. Distract yourself. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm literally swishing coconut oil in my mouth.
yeah, that's the key.
Okay, what are we saying here? Yeah, Janine has worked so hard to help our community. Like I literally I cannot imagine. I found like because she shouted out Kristen and Jason, and it was like when that was like instantly I went and checked them out, and it was like I resonated with them so quickly. And that's again, now I've met like this whole all these other people, and it's just been so beautiful.
Yeah, they Kristen and Jason, Kristen specifically helped me out when I was having a major, you know, like a major red alert moment with my family. So we'll always be grateful to them and the incredible job that they do. So yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're an
awesome.
amazing duo. Like I'm
Yeah,
so grateful that Janine. I probably should watch how many times I'm saying her name because now I
we're
probably
talking
could.
about we're talking about Janine from Ghostbusters.
Oh
Different.
yeah.
Ghostbusters, what do you want? You know that
Yeah.
Janine.
Um, I don't like being censored. I've talked about this before. I don't do good with like being told what I can and can't do. So YouTube's a hard one for me because
Yeah,
I really don't like being censored.
I don't either.
Um, yeah, Linda, I talked about this the other day. I really do want to figure out how I can do a live so that we can like talk more. It's not just like, you know, I mean, I love being able to read the chat and read what you guys are saying, but it's different being able to have that conversation. So I am working at trying to figure that out in order. I'm just trying to figure out like how do we get everybody. I don't know if I maybe need to set a time and put the time out and then have people message me and I can send them the private link. I don't know if you guys have like ideas of how this could smoothly go. If I maybe we need to pick like a day and time first. I'm open to ideas so that we can do a Zoom and just get more of the people within the community. And I mean, it doesn't have to be recorded. If everybody wants, we can record it and post it, but we could also just keep it like, you know, just us getting to know each other and being able to like chat with each other and share ideas and wisdom and knowledge. So
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. I hope we can figure that out.
that's a great idea.
Yeah. The TBJ is so very passionate with everything she does. I hold her with a lot of respect and I honor her. Like I said, I try not to hold her up on a high pedestal because she has taught me not to do that with people. But I mean, I hold her with so much respect and honor.
Yeah.
I love that woman. It would, her and Ashley, I would love to meet the two of them.
Oh
I
man,
think that would just be so much fun.
I think
I could just imagine like listening to 90s hip hop, going to like, you know, some like thrift stores, maybe going and pulling some tarot cards, doing some like energy healing, grid work on the earth,
yeah,
like total goals.
absolutely. I think the three of you would put together an awesome show.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be so fun.
yeah.
I do want to, I need to figure out, I haven't been able to find like a contact for Ashley, but I really want to, and you've encouraged me to like reach out to
Yeah,
Ashley because I mean, that woman has so much knowledge.
yeah,
And I mean, the few times that I've heard her, I mean, I love the deep dive Fridays. Those are
yeah, I
my
know.
favorite. But the few times that she was on Beyond Mystic, like with John Claude, like it was so awesome to like hear more about Ashley and the things that she does. And
Yeah,
she's just super cool.
yeah, she is. And I know I wish she was on YouTube more, but I think like she's so busy with her other work that, you know, that's her priority, which is absolutely understandable.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah. But it's, yeah, I hope we'll see more of her too in the future.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So let's see. Put notifications out. Lori, is that for like the Zoom? Are you suggesting like the notifications? Or maybe I'm missing something else. Yeah, Shauna, I love having you on here. Definitely like jump on whenever you can. I love being able to meet more of you. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's hard. I know. I know some people haven't been able to get onto her website. You know, it's been a hard time these last 3 years, and a lot of people are going through things. Um, I think that her and John Claude are going to continue to try to do their
The
their
Rumble
rumbles,
show?
like at least like I don't know how often they said. Was it going to be weekly or every other week? I can't
I,
remember how they said it, but
I think it might be weekly.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that, but they are planning on doing it regularly. I know that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Shauna, sorry, I can't speak right now. If you didn't see John Claude's Rumble, definitely find him on Rumble and then follow him. And then yeah, like Lori's saying, put your notification on so that I mean, even with YouTube, I have notifications on for people, and then I'll go like there's a few people, I don't know if anybody else is noticing this, but there's been a few people where I haven't seen some of their stuff. And then I'll go onto their channel and it's like they have all these videos and I'm like, whoa, how come sometimes my notification is turned off, which I know I didn't turn it off. And other times it's still on, yet I'm not getting the notifications. I notice sometimes with like videos, I've liked it. And then if I go back to like share it, it's unliked,
Yeah.
which is
Bruce,
weird.
Bruce from Brucey's he talks about having a lot of issues with that kind of thing. Are you familiar with him?
I don't know who that is.
He's a YouTuber and he does like close-up footage of the moon. He's got like this really powerful
Oh,
telescope.
I think I've seen maybe one of his things. I think you shared one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dynamite stuff like that. He's sharing like actual all kinds of activity on the moon and like and up in the sky and everything. And I mean, he must be ruffling feathers because he gets
How did
censored
he
pretty
stay
heavily.
on?
I don't know. I'm still like shocked that he's even still on YouTube at all. But yeah,
Yeah.
he has been. There has been, you know, a trend of like shadow banning and like hiding likes and hiding comments and things like that. Unfortunately, so yeah, it can happen, but hopefully that will go away soon. I mean, from my understanding, YouTube may eventually become a whole lot better, but we'll have to wait and
I
see.
think so too. I like Janine's pulled cards on that
Yeah,
too. So I think it
that's
is
what I'm thinking
going
about.
to. Yeah, I think it's part of the exposing, right? Like part of showing like how bad it is. Like so many things that you can't say on here, and it's like, come on, that needs to come out.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda's saying, we are all in this together. I can never talk about these things with most people I know. These times are precious for us all, for us here. I agree. Like it's the people that I've met, and I was talking about this I did an energy healing session today. And we were talking about this, how like we really were spread out all over the world for certain reasons, so that we can each shine our light and hold the light and the vibration where we're at. But it doesn't always make it easy, like that in-person connection is really important. Thankfully we've been able to use things like YouTube or different apps to be able to connect to people when we're so far apart or when we're not able to, or I mean, when we were locked down. So,
Yeah.
I feel like they really tried to push us into this like seclusion and you're all alone, you don't have anybody, all these things. But again, it just shows how truly powerful we are. Like we were able to use this for our good. That's just why, like, you know, I mean, Bryce was the one who always spoke about this, and I'll never forget it. But the darkness can't create anything. It's always from the light, from source that creates. The darkness steals things and tries to use it, especially things that are really powerful, and they know that.
Yeah.
And they use these things. There's certain numbers that people still hold and give it this negative power. And as long as you give it this negative power, it's going to continue to have that and harness that. Numbers like 13, so many people look at that as like this negative number, the superstitious number. It's the divine feminine number.
Yeah.
Of course they turn that into a negative number. Like it literally is the divine feminine. Even 666, and I know that will trigger for people because we've been programmed to think everything 666 is evil. And yes, they do use it for evil because they know the power that it harnesses. They invert it, and that's what they do. We've talked about with the pentacle or the pentagram, they've inverted it. They know the power that it harnesses, but darkness and evil cannot create. They're only using and taking it, and we have that power to take it back and to use it for what it was always intended for the positive, for the good. I agree, Shauna. 13 is a lucky number. My son was born on the 13th of this month. Like it's super lucky number. Ben's in the house. How's it going, Ben? It would be morning for Ben in Australia. I think so too. I know some people don't like to hear people say that it's a movie, and Janine explains it the best of like, this is a movie, but we're in this movie. We are the main players. We are not sitting back waiting for somebody to come save us from Mr. T. Like, yes, he's a big part of it, but like, I'm not sitting here waiting for him. I'm doing the work that I need to do. I'm creating the life that I want to create. I'm letting him and the Alliance and the White Hats encourage me, but I'm not just sitting back not doing this work, right? Like, I'm not like sitting here being like, well, when all this happens, then things will be better. Well, if you're always waiting for that, then you're I'm sorry, like it's just not going to, you can't sit back and just wait for something to make something better.
Yeah.
You have to take that responsibility and that action to do it.
Absolutely. And I'm always, asking myself, what can I do to make things better now? What can I do to improve the way I'm interacting with the world and for my own life? So
exactly.
Yeah.
What is this? Ben, how's it going? How did the move go? Looks like he's unboxing.
Oh man.
I missed yours and Danielle's show. I knew you guys wouldn't have one because of the move. But yeah, I'm loving the Sunday night with Ben and Danielle and the Soul Tribe. If you guys, I didn't realize until my last live, I kept asking people to like to share their links and their channels and all that stuff in my chat, and then nobody ever was. And I'm like, you guys, don't be shy, share them. And then somebody finally said, they're like, you actually can't share them. Like only moderators or myself can share links. And I was like, oh shoot. But yeah, let's see. How else could we have survived this mess in a healthy way if we didn't have YouTube? Right? I agree, Linda. Like, and it took me a while to be like, I don't want to be on, on the screen, and I don't usually sit watching things. I have it playing while I'm doing things.
Yeah.
But it took a while until I started realizing, like, holy shit, like if I wasn't listening to this stuff, I'm not getting this information anywhere else. And like, I've spoken about this before quite a bit, that like I'm finally at this like time in my life where I love learning. And we've talked about this, where it's like I have so many books on the go right now. I can't even keep up with it. There's more books I want to order, but I'm like, I don't have the time to like, I'm not making the time, but I'm also like a solo mama working. Yeah. Right?
And that's not all of them.
Right? I know. I actually finally brought my I had like a smaller bookcase like sitting outside of my room with all my books. And then it was about like a couple weeks ago, I'm like, why is this in my room? I'm like, I need this in my room. So I brought it in my room, was able to put more books on it, of course. And then like the top part, I have like a whole bunch of my crystals on it. I've got like different cards that I pull, and I'll have them set up, because then I'm like taking that energy in like as I sleep. I've got my divination rods, which I still haven't like totally dove into.
Yeah.
But Jay Rocco was one that he shared something with me about charging them in the harvest full moon, like both in the moon and the sunlight, and then sleeping with them to integrate with them. And that was something that he got from one of his guides. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna do that.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah.
I still haven't started learning tarot yet. I mean, like I've been learning gradually, but I bought a deck, still haven't gotten into it yet. And I really want to. It's just a matter of having the time.
Yeah. I have I play with tarot all the time. I'm still like one that I look at the book a lot, or like the meanings. I'm getting to the point where it's like I'll see and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that card means. I know what that card means. And then there's some that I'm like, I think I know, but I still gotta look it up. But I do have Janine's first tarot course. I was a Patreon when she had the Patreon, and then when she lost her channel, all those videos got deleted as well, because they were on YouTube. So I did get her first one, and now her second one's out, but I'm still like not even it's because with that I do like, I sit down, I take notes, I'm in it, I'm in the zone. I think of it like as a class. So it's not like just listening to a YouTube video or somebody, like when I'm doing other things. Like I need to have that like energy and time, which I don't really have a lot of that on my own to do that, but when I do try to do that.
Yeah, likewise.
What is this here? So we are where are you guys? I'm in Canada. I live in Canada. It's well, Justin, you can, if you feel comfortable saying where you are.
I'm in Alabama, Birmingham.
Alabama. It's funny because like I always think of people from Alabama having this accent that you don't have at all.
That's because I grew up in Philly.
Okay, that makes more sense. I'm always like, maybe I always just have this idea in my head, and then I hear Justin talk and it doesn't sound like that at all.
No, I live here, but I'm not from here.
For how long?
Like
how long have you lived there for?
How long have I lived here? About, let's see, 7 years. 8 years, 7, 8 years, I think. Yeah, a good while. And I do pick up some things, and I do say y'all. So
we talked about that once. There's a girl that I work with. She says y'all all the time, and I like it. I think I like it. It's like,
it's easier than saying you all. I mean, It's way easier.
Yeah, people ask her all the time though. They're like, "Are you from the States?" And she's like, "No." And then I'm like, "I am, but I don't say it." Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben's in Australia, and you guys just went into summer in Australia, which, oh, I mean, I don't even think your winters are anything like our winters. Michigan, I bet you guys are like, what do you guys get? What is Michigan like? I mean, like here, I'm so grateful for any time, especially now in these months that we're in, that I'm not freezing cold. I do have my heat on already. But actually, the other day when I walked my dog Zion, I was like, do I have to get my winter coat out?
Oh,
It
man.
was like, it was so windy. I also really love my winter coat. I'll have to, I don't know if I can show it sometime, but I've got these friends that they have this, they resell coats that are like, they're not real fur, they're like faux fur or whatever it's called, faux fur. But so I was over there one time and he was like, "Oh, you should look at all of our coats." And they just got like racks of these coats because they just like go to thrift stores and all these different things and find them and then resell them. And I was like, oh, like I'm so specific. Like I totally manifested it. I was like, it would have to be like long, all black, big hood. Like he showed me one and I'm like, no, it's just like I have a vision in my head. And then it was like he's looking, and he's like, oh, maybe this one, and like pulls it out. I swear, like I envision it being this like straight out of Narnia, like just pulling it out of like, because that's how it was. It was just like, I feel like I just manifested it and he just pulled it out of the cupboard from Narnia. And I was like, I put it on and I'm not even joking. I put that on and I was like, I have worn this in many lifetimes before. Like it was just like, it was crazy. It was like the experience. And I mean, I wasn't even on my like spiritual journey at that point. I mean, I always kind of have been, but not to the extent I am now, to this like realization of like past lives, or like, you know, having this memory of like, holy crap, I literally just put something on that I have put on before. That was cool.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Another tangent. I go off on so many tangents.
That's the fun. That's the fun of doing a live show, right?
Yeah. And I love being able to chat with anybody who jumps on. Ocean is saying, yeah, to jump on Ben's channel on Sundays. He's moving, so he wasn't on this past Sunday. Ben, I don't know if are you planning on jumping on this coming Sunday with Danielle? I absolutely love you too. Danielle is like one of my favorite YouTube people. She's a person that I would love to meet for sure, because I feel like we would totally connect. I love her energy. Inspired action. Okay, I wonder if I can link people. I'll see if I can do this. I'm not technically that good. Let me see. Oh, Keith's in the house. Hey, Keith, how's it going?
What's up, Keith?
Yeah, sorry. If I can figure out how to link Ben, I will try to link him. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really like not the best. Yeah, Ocean's also in Canada.
Nice.
I'm so thankful that my close inner circle are all on the same page and all of the fantastic people I've met online. You and Justin and the Soul Tribe. Lori, I agree. I'm just like so honored to have met so many amazing people. Whoops, I just missed. Y'all is awesome. So true. Even I say you're all in New Zealand. Oh, sweet. There you go.
Oh, good. You guys are even further south than I am, so it's perfect.
Linda's in my hometown, Albuquerque. Oh, you were born and raised in Minnesota. Long story. Interesting.
Cool.
So it's 35 in the AM in Michigan and 73. Okay, I'm still not good with Fahrenheit. I think you,
35 is cold.
like, what would that be in Celsius? I always forget how to convert it.
I always forget how to convert to Celsius.
It's like, I think with Celsius, you times it by 2, but then you have to add some, I think. I don't know. Can you guys help me out?
Something like
I'm,
that.
like I said, I'm not, I didn't really pay attention in school too much because it just didn't like resonate with me. Oh yeah, Ocean. Ocean brought up, you should have felt how cold it was during the Freedom Convoy. Legit, like this is where Canadians again like really pulled through. We were in the depths of winter during the Freedom Convoy. Like I remember when they came through my city and we were outside and they came through, like they were running late. So it was like, I think it was like 10 o'clock at night that they finally came through. We were like all bundled up, like in our vehicles. There's just like lines and lines, like hundreds of people lined up on the side of the road. And we're like, once they came through, everybody jumps out. And I remember like trying to film it. And then my phone actually had like shut down because it got too cold.
Oh, wow.
And my hand was like freezing. I was like, okay, I just need to like take this in my mental head and not worry about recording.
Oh,
But just video like all over, like even when John Claude was like at Ottawa, like at Parliament Hill,
yeah.
that was like the depths of winter. And at one point there was like 2 million people there, like in the depths of like minus 35, like
Wow.
insane winter. So yeah, it gets cold here.
Yeah, it sure does. You just stop feeling it at a certain point.
Oh yeah, when we get to the like minus 45, even like minus 50, it's like you are not going out of your house unless you like work or need food. And even then, it's like, well, you like literally can freeze in seconds. Like you have to be bundled up. My dog, it's like the hardest time in winter. It's like he wants to go for a walk, but you open that door and he's like running the other way. Like even to go pee, I'm like, you have to, like,
Oh,
yeah, it's hard. Like our winters are really cold.
yeah. You guys know how to survive this kind of weather.
I don't though. Like I always say, I'm like, I was born in the desert. I wasn't born for this shit. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like, no, I need to be in hot climates. I mean, I love that we get to witness like all 4 seasons, but I would love it if winter wasn't so insane and so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it like for you? Like you guys get pretty much all 4 seasons? Like do you get snow? Oh,
Yeah,
you don't get snow.
a little bit, but like not a ton. Although we might this year.
Yeah.
There's a joke that people here make, like the 3 seasons of Alabama are summer, winter, and football.
Oh,
And I'm not a football person, but that's something that everyone here is like, always saying. It's warm, generally speaking, it's warm most of the year. And I would say like maybe January, February, yeah, that's when you're like mostly going to be wearing long sleeves and stuff.
yeah.
But the rest of the year, like I can wear short sleeves. I can go barefoot most of the time, which I
Oh,
love the ground. And I like that there's like, and even though it makes it hard to grow things, I really like that there's a lot of forest and trees around here. So there's beautiful shade and oxygen. And, I really like that aspect of it. So it helps with the heat too, like,
mhm.
because, I want the heat and I want the sun and all that. But sometimes you need the shade, and it's
Yeah.
great to have both.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing with it being like so cold here is the aspect of like not being able to go and like ground myself on the earth. I do like there are some people that are like hardcore and they like shovel out patches of ground and they still like earth in those wintertime. Like to me, I'm like props to you because I'm just like not there yet. I will like play with my plants and stuff in the wintertime to help ground me more, or other things that I do as well. But like, yeah, I haven't gotten to that aspect of like putting my feet on the like frozen ground. And yeah, the being able to grow food is another hard one. Again, because like we have it for such a long time. I know a lot of people grow indoors, which I've been looking at like the towers. They're so expensive though.
They are.
But the growing towers, I had almost bought one and then I invested in like precious metals instead.
Yeah. Well, I think that was probably a good idea for the
Yeah.
long run.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll be okay in
Yeah.
terms of food, you know.
I think so too.
Yeah. So
They're cool though.
they
I like
are.
them. Like I would, but then also like I look at my cat and how much my cat attacks my plants and stuff. That I'm like, oh, I would probably wake up one morning and my whole tower would be destroyed.
Your
So
cat is the universe telling you not to grow food indoors.
there you go. I did though. It has not actually. Linda was the one we've been talking about this. I did for this year order one of those like sad lamps, to help you through the winter months and stuff. Mine still hasn't showed up. I kind of like looked into it and they were like, oh, hopefully it'll be there by the 15th. And I'm like, yeah, this is like taking a month to get here. But I think because this year I worked so much and I've been doing like so much like sun gazing and stuff. So it's harder to do. I mean, I guess I could still do it in the winter, just be like bundled up but I think the transition this year is going to be a little bit harder for me. So I'm trying to prepare myself now for that, taking as much of it in as I can right now. And yeah, like doing things like ordering the sad lamp so that I can have that like, that hour in the morning, at least like within the first hour, I think is how it works, that you can like get that sun or that light to come in.
Is that a lamp that helps like with sunlight, with not getting as much sunlight? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So Linda and I were talking about that, and she was going to help me find one, and then I did order one, but yeah, it still hasn't shown up. So, and actually, my reflexologist that just lives down the street from me, he recently got one too, and we were talking about it. And he was the one that told me about, yeah, like getting it in within that first hour of waking up is like so crucial to your day. And he's been talking, he's actually it's super cool. He's super, I love him. He's such an amazing person. Like the healing that I get from his treatments, but also like being able to talk to him. He's fully awake too. But he's blind, but his intuition is like so bang on. Like he just is like touching your feet in areas and knows exactly what's going on in your body. Like it's so cool. But yeah, he talks about, because he does like basically sun gazing in the mornings here, like even though he can't see, he knows that he's getting this energy and this light codes from it. So we were talking about like the lamps, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've been wanting to order one. And he's like, yeah, mine just arrived today. And then I had the conversation with Linda, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm gonna get one, because it helps being able to like transition, things that help you transition in these times. My boss actually shared with me and one of my good friends that St. John's wort is a really good herb for people who struggle with the transition from like summer to fall and winter. So I got some of that as well, just in case I go into those, those harder times, those sadder times, and just to be able to help me out through that. So if anybody else struggles with that, St. John's wort, again, do your research. This isn't medical advice. Harley Ray. See, you guys, I'm not even joking. This candle from Harley Ray, the Soul Tribe, it legit brings in the Soul Tribe. Every time I light it, it's like I have everybody coming. Like Sean is here, Keith's here, Harley Ray, Ocean, Lori, like Linda, everybody's here. Ben, I don't want to miss anybody. I'm sorry if I'm everybody. Like, I just love it. Huge shout out to Harley Ray. I love you guys. I love that it's a full-on family business. And you guys put like so much care and so much energy and like your love into like packing your stuff, into like the things that you make, the products that you bring in. I love you guys so much. Then at evening, I missed that. Okay, so in the AM, you need a winter coat. In the afternoon, you're sweating. And then the evening, you need a winter coat. That's totally, we're like, that's where we're at right now, Shauna. It's just like I'll wake up in the morning and my heater's on because it's so cold. I finally pulled my carrots. My kids and I harvested our carrots because everyone kept saying to like leave it in for the first frost. So we did that, and this last week we pulled them, but it was like my kids were even like, I looked outside and it was all frosty, and I'm like, I know. It's like it's coming. But then like that afternoon was super nice. Like we were outside enjoying the day. But then again that night when I took my dog for a walk, it was freezing. I shouldn't say freezing because it's not freezing yet, but we will get there.
Yeah, it's coming.
Hmm.
But you had a pretty good haul. I mean, for your first growth season and being in Canada, like that was really good.
I was super like proud of and I
Yeah.
didn't show everything either. Like I should have showed my like potatoes because I got some potatoes. I think I talked to you about it. My strawberry plant, I don't know what happened. Like last year, our strawberry plant did so well. But this year, sadly, one day before I went to work, I didn't water it. And I had it at a spot in my backyard that gets like a shit ton of light, like sunlight in the afternoon, like full blown. And I came home and it was like fried. I felt so bad. Like I did Reiki on it and everything. And it did like, it's so funny. So this is again where like be very specific about like what you're calling in and what you're manifesting. So I like called for abundance, but I didn't say abundance in strawberries. So it's like all this new leaves kept growing from it. So I kept being like, oh, it's coming back, it's doing better. And then it's like the season's ending and there's still no strawberries, and I'm like, okay, next year I'm gonna be specific and say abundance in strawberries.
Yeah, I've done that with similar things. Abundance is one we have to be specific with.
Very specific because you know, yeah, I talked about how I'm trying to find Ben's show here, our channel. My friend Malika had mentioned that on our when we did our kirtan chanting embodiment dance. And she was like, yeah, like be specific about what you're calling in. You know, some people don't get the whole you know, just calling in abundance. And then, you know, you could have you wake up and the next day you've got dandelions all over your lawn, which is abundance.
Yeah.
And it is great medicine to have.
Yeah.
But it may not be the abundance you were, you know, that you were asking for. Yeah. So be very specific in the abundance that you are calling in. Here, okay, I think I finally figured out how to do this. Let me know if this works, guys. That is Ben's show or channel, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Tons of, oh, Shauna, do you guys already have snow, or you will have a ton of snow in Michigan? Have you heard of the polar vortex incoming? Oh, no, tell me more. I don't even own a TV. So I have to hear about things through people on like Telegram. Telegram and YouTube are my only source of connection to the outside world.
Here too, you know. Yeah. That reminds me of that Green Day song.
Which one?
The one where he's like, and I don't even own a TV.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I just like lost a whole bunch here. The cold forced me to retire in my second home in New Mexico. I love that. Oh, wow. I need to go back home.
Yeah. Do you get
to? I've heard. I actually remember seeing a documentary on the water in Flint, Shauna. It's crazy because even here in Canada, like on a lot of the reserves and stuff, like they don't have drinking water. They don't have clean water. Like they'll show turning on their taps and it's like shit coming out of it. Like it's like you can see like rust or it's brown or like it's horrific that there's people still living like this in Like, we're not in a third world country. Like, this is happening right in Canada, right in the States, in places like Flint, you know, like this is where, again, none of this stuff should be happening. This stuff needs
Yeah.
to come out. Like, things need to change, right? Like, it's not
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I remember I've even heard about that for people visiting from other states, like talking about the water problems and things like that.
Well, where I live here, their plan is to start adding fluoride to the water. I wouldn't be surprised if they're already doing it. Like, I feel like they tell you these things are coming, but they're probably already doing it right now.
Yeah.
Which is another good reason, you know, always have some type of filter,
Yeah.
and
Clearly,
cleansing and blessing your water.
yeah.
We just don't
Clearly,
know.
sorry.
I was just saying, we just don't know. Like, you just don't know what's in water. And
Yeah. Clearly filtered has been pretty good that I've found. And they do everything from the water bottles to the pitchers to the under the sinks.
yeah, their stuff tests like really well. I've seen people test like the filtered water afterwards to see what it's like. And I know theirs is like a little bit more pricey,
Yeah.
but it's also like,
It's taking out the fluoride because most other filter systems don't get the fluoride.
mhm,
So that's what really sold me on them.
mhm.
I was like, oh, it's worth it. And it has helped with, with this. So yeah, even
Yeah,
if like I don't have their under the sink system, I just have their pitcher and their water bottles right now.
okay.
But even if you just do the pitcher, like it does really make a difference. So
Yeah, bet it does. Yeah, I've heard a lot about theirs ones. They're the ones that, I remember somebody, I think it was when I was still on Signal maybe, and they had sent me their information and showed me like their water being tested afterwards. So that is one. I use the Sentiva. I like that the Sentiva, if you've got the big system, which I have the big system and the pitchers,
oh, nice.
it puts minerals back into the water as well. So it's not just filtering, but it's putting it back. And they now have a specific fluoride one as well too. So
Oh, it's
I
great.
straight up know that I've got lead. Like, it's so crazy how the city like emails us, or not emails us, they send us a letter every year to let us know about the high lead content in our water. And it's like, here's a Brita filter for like 6 months or something. Also, like, I'm like, I don't know if I really trust a filter that the government is giving,
Yeah.
but I'm also at a point where I just don't trust it.
Yeah.
um
We get that too, and they're like, "Yeah, we're putting fluoride in your water," and I'm like, "F off."
yeah, please no, thank you. Not like, I don't consent to that in any way.
Helping your teeth get clean. No, you're not.
Yeah, not at all. Lori says that she has a lamp and it does work. Good. I'm really excited. Oh, Harley Ray, did you guys, I know you guys were talking about getting the crystal singing bowls. Did you guys get those in? I actually need to go back on the website. Let me see if I can link you guys. If I was on my phone, I just like your website just like automatically comes up. Let's see if I can find it on here. I would love to link your shop for everyone. I think I found it. Sorry guys, I'm definitely, I'm no John Claude or JC, and for like multitasking.
I can look at the chat while you're doing that. Like there's a lot of people saying that they're having to deal with fluoride too and get the filters. And they're really on top of it. So you've got a great audience. Like they know their stuff. I
love it. Yeah, the Soul Tribe is amazing. Like I learned something from the Soul Tribe like every day. I the energy goes back and forth. It really is so beautiful. And Linda, you're right. The vitamin D3, even in the summertime here, obviously I don't take as much of it in the summertime, but yeah, I'm still taking it in the summer. In the wintertime, I'm taking like 10,000 units a day just because we get like, I'm not like getting any sun. Oh yeah, I should link Danielle's channel as well because she is fantastic. I love her. Let me do that. Yeah, Justin, you you take over.
Okay. Yeah, Linda was saying that she rarely watches TV anymore because she's doing this and it's so much more fun, enlightening, stimulating, and educational. And
Aw.
I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, Soul Tribe and Beyond Mystic, like honestly, between the two, it's hard to have time for anything else anyway. Why would, you know? But yeah, and we learn so much from each other too, right? Like we're all helping each other grow and wake up in this time, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful, for these communities that we're building together, and that we are here to hold each other up and lift each other up. And that's something that um, the Queen of Ravens had gotten like a while back, that our strength was going to come from these communities that we're building together, even though like we were being separated on a lot of levels because of the things that were pushed. We were going to find our strength together in these communities that we're building now, and this soul family, this soul tribe that we're all generating. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's a perfect example of Christ consciousness and us coming together, and people being able to lift each other up in these times. And yeah, I've hands down been blessed by the soul tribe so much. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's just an awesome community. And
We got it, and we'll get Justin's channel up and running soon.
we will. And I was actually working so hard to get it today, so I would have it to share tonight, but other things needed to happen. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
I always say all in divine timing,
yeah.
it all is gonna work out. Like with things with this channel, like there were people that I was just like, I want to I just want to talk to this person. I want to interview this person. And like the, the programmed side of me, even like the ego side of me is just like, would tell me to stop. Like, no, like, who are you to email that? Like, or why would they ever do a show with you? And then it was like, no, like those limiting beliefs, like get rid of them.
Yeah.
Right. And then I just would email people and be like, I mean, I've emailed Janine, I
Yeah.
emailed Kristen, even Lily Nova is one that I emailed, and these are just like, put yourself out there and like, just do it. Like what, you either get like a not now, or maybe, maybe you don't hear a response at all, or maybe you do an interview with them, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, again, it goes to that whole thing of what Janine talks about, is that like, no one's greater than you. No one's better than you. We're all equal. We all have something that we have to share with somebody else, right? So it's like, go do that thing or talk to that person that, these limiting beliefs are stopping you from doing it, because you're really only stopping yourself,
Yeah.
and it's like, you never know if you don't try,
Absolutely.
like just try, like, it's like, why not?
Yeah. And that show you did with Kristen, man, that was lightning in a bottle. That was phenomenal.
She's so amazing. And I mean, like, Kristen has really helped me, like, really like step out of my shell, and this whole like, like how she helped me with, encourage me to do like my embodiment dance for people who weren't here. And it was like, to me, I was like, oh my, like I can't record something like that where I'm dancing and like I'm gonna put that out to people. And then it was also like, oh, I don't have like a proper setup, or you have, again, all these limiting beliefs and this chatter in your head. And then it was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Like, just do it. Like, this is who I am. This is the life I'm living right now. This is what my house looks like, and
Yeah,
just do it. And
absolutely.
she's so amazing for that, for like really bringing out like people's, like breaking them out of their shell. Like, I feel like that's really a gift that she harnesses.
Yeah,
So
almost.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Keith is asking if you have a YouTube channel. It's coming.
It's coming.
Come in. We'll get him on again. Or he'll be gracious and have me on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, are you kidding?
But we'll let you guys all know when it's up and running. That's like those of you guys who know, I know a lot of you guys know Wendy Day. She's a mod on Kristen and Jason's. She's in a lot of the chats as well. We're working at getting her website up and running, because she's the one. I don't have it on me right now. It's over there on my but she's the one that introduced me to the Solex AO scanner. I talked about this on one of my shows, how I was like this close to getting the Healy. And then I had a session with her. And I mean, anybody who has watched my videos, you know how much frequency is a big part of my life. Everything is energy, everything is frequency. So, I mean, you can probably hear frequency music playing right now. It's always like a part of my life. So I'm super excited to also have that chat soon with Wendy, so she can explain more about this adventure that we're on. Like I joined her team, and super excited to be offering this stuff. How was your experience with it?
It was phenomenal. Actually, I learned about what I needed to do for my liver, and thankfully, like at that exact same time, Lance was doing his promotion, and I picked up the liver detox, and I've been feeling fantastic ever since. So yeah, it really worked out well.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Mine's on its way. Of course, in Canada it takes longer to get to me. I remember when you said yours arrived, I was like, damn it.
I know. Well, I was shocked that it got there so quickly. It took like 2 days.
I know. I mean, when you said that, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. My first order from them, it was like 2 days to Canada. I don't know how they did that one. That was insane to me. I was like, how did you guys do this in 2 days? But yeah, it's cool, because between my reflexologist, my scan, and I also, one of the girls that I work with, she does massage and cranial.
Oh, wow.
She does cranial and osteopathy. So I had a session with her. And then I incorporated my boss, who's a naturopath, and he does auricular testing. So it's testing through the energy field, through the quantum field, how he does his testing. And they all aligned. Like they all said like the same things, like my thyroid, my adrenals, liver. It was just so cool that I was like, wow, like not that I didn't think that machine would work, because I'm like, I do believe so highly in frequencies. But it was really cool to like have that comprehensive report, and then look at the other things that are being told to me by other practitioners and being like, holy shit, this is exactly what they told me to do. Yeah. Like, it's cool.
Really great confirmation that,
great confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you shared it, and for it as well. It really does make a difference.
It's cool. I mean, and I'm only like scratching the surface of like what this machine can do. Like I said, I do want to do a special show with Wendy, because she's the one who introduced me to it. So but I'm, as you can tell, I think I've brought it up in most of my shows lately, and I'm super pumped about it, because I feel like it's almost the bridge to like med beds, right? Yeah. Like it's the same, like, we're healing through frequencies, and I'm able to do it like in the quantum field as well. You don't have to be here to do it. Yeah. This is Nikola Tesla's technology. This is his findings. So like nothing new, this is newer technology to us, but this has been around, and it's just really cool to be able to help people like on a whole nother level.
I also felt really, really so much better after the scan, and I should have said that earlier. Like it really did make a huge difference. And I was just thinking that, like as you were saying that earlier, like it is like a precursor to the medbed technologies, or like a link to it. And I think we're starting to see some more of these things finally emerge now, and it's great because we need them.
You need them, right? And that's, you know, again, these whole like 3 years have exposed a lot of that. And also just realizing, like, I mean, we all have this in the healing ability within inside of us. So I mean, yes, these are tools. This is just like another tool to help you with that. But we do all, like, I mean, the last live that I had, Libby was one that was on, as well as Maya, and they both talked about how they've healed themselves, like, through terminal C's. I don't know if you could say that word on here. I think you guys know what I'm saying. Through the white light, through like meditation and using the white light to heal themselves. And like, those testimonies alone are just like, they're so powerful, of like how powerful we are. Like, we harness that because each and every one of us have source, God, creator with inside of us, and all you need to do is call upon it, you know. Like,
Yeah.
that's the coolest part of like working so strongly with my angel guides now, and the archangels and my guardian angels, is like, all these years, all I had to do was call upon them. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit. It's just like, that's how easy it is. You just call upon them. They're literally there waiting for you. And it helps you to remember that you're never alone. Like, there's always so much protection and love and help around you. Like, I work with the Saint Germain and the Violet Flame daily, like daily basis, whether I'm doing energy work on other people or like on myself. And, you know, just cleansing and clearing, like, is so important.
It is. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because yeah, that's something that I've been wanting to do more of. And even like when all of the disconnects were happening with people, getting in touch with, you know, my angels and my spirit guides made all the difference. It really does. Like, I'm choking up a little bit talking about it, you know, but yeah, it really does. And we do have that capacity for self-healing and learning. Like, that's why I think like we're so cut off from meditation, because it is such an essential part of our time here, in these bodies. Like, you know, being able to connect to source and heal these bodies, you know, like it's absolutely essential. We need to be doing that, to take care of ourselves. And even, you know, even it's even better when we have our angels with us, our spirit guides, and crystals and silver and whatever else that
I'm finally working with my silver.
Awesome. I've just been playing with this amethyst, but you know.
Dude, you got one, hey, from the store?
Yeah. Well, this is a different one. This is one that I've had. I don't carry this one in my pocket because it's really pointy.
Oh yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, but I like using it for energy work, and for meditation. My pocket one's really small.
Yeah, I love amethyst. Amethyst is such a beautiful crystal.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I have another friend that owns, you know, not to, I mean, I'm always a big supporter of Harley Ray, and I'll always send people your way. I do have a local friend though that has, she has her own crystal business that I try to support as well. And we had missed our chat, but we're going to do an interview with her, because she's got a lot of great information I would love to share. And she also does different energy work and healings that I wanted to talk about. But, you know, one thing, talking about amethyst, not to like digress here, but one thing that like, within the like crystal world that a lot of people don't know about is, citrine. Is it citrine? Not a cluster. Somebody help me out here. I'm like forgetting what it's actually called. But this is actually amethyst. Like,
Really?
it's not actually, citrine isn't naturally formed like this. And that's one thing I want to talk to her about, because a lot of people don't know that. So a lot of crystal places that you see this this sold on, they still call it citrine. And that's something that I'm excited for her to share about.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah,
great.
see, Harley Ray, of course Harley Ray knows it's heated amethyst. But what does it always always sold at? I always forget. It's sold as not a geoid. It's sold as, I don't know. Somebody help me out. I can't remember, but so I mean, and it's still, obviously it's still amethyst, so it still has a lot of healing properties from it. But as long as you know when you're buying it, you're buying heated amethyst. You're not buying citrine. It's not citrine. It's just a good one to know. I like people to know that, because then you know what you're buying.
Yeah, you want to know what you're working with.
You want to know what you're working with. Yeah.
I guess we're not supposed to have favorites, but I do like amethyst is my favorite.
Favorites are okay. I don't know. Like, why can't we have? Who says we can't have favorites?
All right, then it's my favorite. Yeah, just like the aspect of both protection and connection to source. Like, oh man, I can't get over it. I love it. I always like, if I'm not carrying some with me, I miss it.
Yeah.
You know, so it really does. Like I've tried not to make it like something that I'm dependent on. I'm not, but I still really value having it. And what's really fascinating about crystals too, and I think Dreadville of Melchizedek talks about this, is that they're alive. Like, they actually have a consciousness. Dolores Cannon has gone into past life regressions where people remember being crystals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's really neat to have, you know, that connection. And I I know there was like that pet rock trend in the 70s or whatever. But
Let's bring that back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
that's a fun one. I mean, I carry crystals with me all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I've got them in my car, I've got them in my bag. When I go to work, I have my certain crystals that I set up for like protection. I've got them on my phones. Like,
yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
They're all around me. But it is like, there is that aspect of like, they are just another tool. I know I've talked to you about this before, that I have to work on like not being so attached to them. And you know, that's a hard one for me, because especially with crystals, because crystals have been a part of my life for a really long time. So yeah.
It's challenging for me too. And you know, I think it was like a lesson where some would come and go, and I mean, I would lose one, but then you were talking about calling it back to you, and I've had that experience too, where one that I had lost for like a year came back to me, and I thought it was gone forever. But you know, sometimes they come back. They come back. You know,
they do. Yeah, these were the earrings that came back to me.
Oh, cool. Are those amethyst?
No, these ones are the angel. What is it? Angel aura. I always forget the actual name for them. I'm like losing thought tonight.
Well, you know, I've been having a lot of memory, like just stuff kind of coming and going lately.
Things that I know, like it's so weird when it's things that I know so well, and then I'm like, as soon as I go to say it, it's just like gone, and it's like, what? But these were ones that I had. Well, they were gifts from my kids, but my mom bought them. Because I really wanted like some like prettier earrings. I'm not like a really like pretty person, but I loved them, and I was like, oh my goodness, I would love those. And I lost one like right away walking to work one day. I was like, I could not find it. And so I walked home, and I was just like, you know, I put that intention out there of like finding it, and like envisioned myself finding it so I could like really feel like what it was like to find it. And I tried to walk like the same way that I walked home, and just like the whole time I was just like head down trying to find it. And then I didn't find it. Like it was a hard one for me. And then I finally came to a point of like just saying like, okay, you know, maybe whoever finds it, like I hope that it just brought them like a ton of joy and happiness, and just know that it was meant to move on, you know. And then one day I was walking Zion, and I came home, and I think like it wouldn't have been snow, so I don't know what it was under, but it was under something, like right when I was walking up my like walkway, and I looked down, and it was there.
Oh, that's great.
But it had been gone for like 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember how long it was gone for. And I too was like, okay, well, it's gone. And it was weird because I held on to that feeling of like, of it, of finding it. And like, I worked on like calling it home. I was like, just come back to me, you know? And then
Yeah.
it wasn't until I fully let it go and was like, okay, you know, whoever it's supposed to be with, I just hope that, you know, they're loving it and it's bringing them everything that they need. And then it came back.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. I totally like get it too, because I'm a Cancerian, so like our whole thing is it's hard for us to let things go. And um this lifetime I've really been learning the value of that and seeing when, you know, what can come back in after you do. You know?
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
great that you brought that up too, because the part of me, like I'm a Taurus sun, and I always say like, I'll read like with Taurus, so like they talk about the materialism, and I'm like, I'm so not materialism. But then I'm like, when it comes to like crystals and stuff like that, I'm like, oh damn, I totally am. It's like, oh, I do like the finer things in life when it comes to certain things. It's not the like Joneses and all that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, things like crystals and like really well made like candles
yeah,
and, you know, oracle cards. I'll have to pull an oracle card before we get off here
oh
just
yeah,
to see what's coming up for this 1010 portal. I
yeah.
just thought I would check in quickly here. We've got some talk about, and I missed this. We've got, so I think Ocean and Keith were talking about apple cider vinegar. Super, super good, guys. I'm at this point now with apple cider vinegar. I used to have a really hard time drinking it. It's so good for you, which obviously you guys, if you look in the chat here, like you guys know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ocean's talking about hemp oil, apple cider vinegar, and cayenne pepper. So yeah, I used to have like a really hard time like drinking apple cider vinegar, even though I knew like how beneficial it was for me. At my work, we have these like gummies that I would do the apple cider vinegar gummies. But I think the more that I drink kombucha, not just like the bought kombucha, which I do like,
Yeah.
we're talking about like the homemade kombucha. I've lost my mother, Scobie, who was like always like multiplying like crazy. My friend that gifted her to me, she did Reiki on it, and it just like I was always giving away Scobies because I couldn't keep up with it. But over the summer, I wasn't making my own kombucha. I kind of just kept buying it. I was on this kick of like, because I can't get my kombucha fizzy. If anybody has like the down on how to make your kombucha fizzy, please share it with me. But yeah, so I lost my mother kombucha. It went all yucky. And, but I think since I've been like drinking more kombucha, eating cleaner, getting rid of like a lot of like foods that just like really aren't good for you.
Yeah.
And when I got sick at the beginning of all this with a cold, and I lost my taste of smell and my sense of smell and my taste, foods changed for me. And now I actually, so I'll take cucumbers. And this was, somebody had done this for me one time when she made me supper. And she cut up cucumbers and put some like pink Himalayan salt and apple cider vinegar. And it is so, so good. And I'm now at a point that like once I'm done, I just drink the apple cider vinegar. It's good. So
Yeah, it's good stuff. I know it is good to put some water in it too, though, just sometimes, so it's not too much.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
also one that drinks the juice from like
the
pickles.
pickle jar.
I'm
Yeah.
that weird person that does that. Linda, I won't read it on here, your question about that. I've known for a number of years because of she used to be my best friend. She technically was a midwife trained in New Mexico, and she was a midwife for 10 years before things came like regulated in Canada. And then because she was trained in the States, they didn't see her as a midwife. It's just this whole crazy long story. But so she was my doula for 2 of my births. But she actually introduced me to how toxic and actually like does the opposite for women. Like it can actually cause what we're looking for. If you understand, if you guys can scroll up, because I think I'm behind in the chat, but if you scroll up and see what Linda's question is there, there's other ways that you can like, I'm trying to think what it's called. I think there was like it's like a thermal, there's some type of a thermal test that you can have instead of having that one. I just don't want to say it on here because I feel like I've already said a lot of words I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, I would definitely look, if I were you, I would encourage you to like look at alternative things opposed to getting that done, because I actually didn't Janine and
Yes.
Ashley just did a deep dive into that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
It is good to avoid it
yeah.
if you can, and look at natural options, or more, frequency healing, all of that good stuff. And the deep dive that Janine and Ashley did, that's on Ashley's channel, so that's free.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Went into like circumcision and a lot of this stuff that honestly, like I always would get like just intuitive, like that sense. Like there's a saying, don't do something if it wounds your soul. And like there's procedures and things like that, but then there's certain things that we do that just like they feel wrong on a soul level. And it's intuition. It goes even deeper than that, though, I think. And we've been programmed to do these things, but at the same time, it's like, why? Like,
Yeah. Why are we doing these things? Yeah.
Is this really what they say? Like, is the benefit really what they say it is? Excuse me. So, yeah, don't let them pressure you into doing something that you're not comfortable with. Like anything that wounds your soul, don't let someone pressure you into doing it, no matter what it is. And yeah, take the time. Like you owe it to yourself. You're worth it. To find the right alternative. I know somebody who she had the big C, and she had basically gone to all the doctors and been told that this was going to be it for her. And she even got the thing in the arm, unfortunately, as far as I know. And thank goodness, like she found an alternative healing option, and now she's actually in recovery. Like she's come around full circle. So yeah, so it really is worth it. And listen to your soul, listen to your heart. And don't let them push you around, because we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, that's part of this, the finding your truth and standing in your sovereignty, and not allowing, like, stop giving away your power to other people, right? And go inward, listen to your intuition. If something's telling you, like, or giving you like a weird feeling about it, trust that. Like, yeah. I'm so thankful that my intuition has always been something that I've listened to, especially when it comes to my kids, the way I've done things with my kids, things that, intuitively, I was always like not doing any of these, really mindful of like what things I allowed around them when it comes to like, not just foods, but like, I mean, they've never seen a westernized doctor. Not saying that it's wrong if you have, right? But this was just for me, like intuitively, these were things that like, co-sleeping, attachment parenting, extended breastfeeding. Like I remember people thinking I was like insane for my almost 4-year-old still nursing, and it's like, well, if you actually look into the benefits of it.
Yeah. Well, no, and they're going to, when they're ready, they're going to, move on. And I know like the they who shall not be named do put out a lot of negative propaganda about a lot of this stuff. And like, I know there was like some reality show about like kids who were breastfeeding when they were like 10 and 11 or something like that. And I'm like, if that's even true, which I don't believe it is, like that's a different scenario. There's something else that's going on there.
Yeah.
We need to let kids, they have their natural growth period and their development, and when they're ready to, they'll move on. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then they won't feel traumatized um, by the change, and like goes for like the whole let them cry it out thing.
Oh yeah.
And like, man, like when I heard my kids doing that, like my heart couldn't take it. you know and so I would hold them, and I would hum the different chakra mantras, like especially like the heart chakra, um and sing to them and stuff, and rock them, and just try to help them feel you know reassured and all of that good stuff. And I can still do that now, and it helps them. It makes a difference. And
For sure.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes we'll do it in the grocery store. Like we'll be waiting in line, and my youngest will start just looking at me, and she'll start doing it, and my heart will light up, and I'll start doing it back. And
Oh.
it's so fun, so precious. So
Yeah, the things that these kids do, like my little guy too. Today he was like, "In love and light, mom, in love and light." Seriously, like I can't. The heart just exploding. Okay, yeah, I want to pull a card, but I just wanted to try to catch up. So Keith, I agree. Walking into a crystal store, if you're able to go into one, crystals will talk to you. They will let you know which ones. And usually if you let the crystal pick you and then you look at the meaning of the crystal afterward, it's all going to make so much sense. Like I do that with so many of the crystals that I've bought, and I've let them call to me. There's even crystals that I have that I didn't get like the card with to like know what it was, and I actually don't even know. I'm like, I don't remember what this crystal is, but I know at some point in my life I needed it, and it called to me, so it's why I have it now. I need someone like Harley Ray to be like, what crystal is this? I would love to do a show with that amazing family, or part of the family, or
yeah, that would be a great show.
yeah, they're awesome. I love them. Okay, let's see here. I agree. I think it's the best materialism too, Keith. But I do have to watch it. I do have to be more open to letting it flow.
Well, and keep in mind, like if it's something that genuinely inspires your spirit and is, helping you with your connection to source, and helping you to live your enjoyment of this life to the fullest, then it is a good thing. It's not, I'm not saying like, we shouldn't do that. We absolutely should.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's
Thank
right. That's the right kind of materialism.
Thanks.
You
Just keep encouraging that side of me.
yeah. It's the whole like dark and light aspect thing.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
So Shauna had mentioned that she her mom's ashes necklace broke and got lost, but she found it 3 months later under her bed. I love that.
Oh, wow, that's great.
What is it? A local farm closed during. I haven't had since I've been lazy to look around. Does anyone use store-bought? Are you looking for store-bought apple cider vinegar, or am I missing something? I might be missing something what you're asking about, Linda.
Maybe apple cider vinegar or kombucha.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I use store-bought kombucha. I use a store-bought both.
I do too. I have actually, one of my best friends is currently making her own apple cider vinegar. She's amazing. The amount of things that she does. She is making her own apple cider vinegar right now. I have not ventured down that. I also buy mine. And I buy my kombucha as well as I need to get a new SCOBY. I need to make it. That, and I let my sourdough go.
Oh.
Now that we're getting into winter, I really want to get some more another sourdough starter, because.
Were you like doing that too? Or you had a culture of that? I don't even know.
Yeah, I had one that I was, you just continually make it all the time. I like had fresh sourdough like every couple days I would make it.
Oh,
But there was
cool.
a point where I was like the only one eating it. And now my kids all of a sudden like it. So now they're like, buy it, mommy. But it's literally like $7 or $8 to buy. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I cannot spend money like that on bread.
I love sourdough too. It's really good. Good stuff.
Oh, Shauna, I'm so sorry. That is really hard. I'm sending you lots of love. Yeah, you're also, hey Linda, also having memory issues. It's weird. The things that it's like, I know these things and then I go to say them and it's gone. It's just like gone. They're not there at all.
Well, I wanted to mention when you were talking about how you had that cold and your taste changed, and I'm wondering, like, the first thing that popped into my head was like ascension symptoms, and like maybe the memory loss is also part of that too.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, like I
Chakra, like all
yeah,
this. I mean, we've been working at I don't know if it's okay to say about like telepathy, practicing that.
yeah,
And like I've noticed like, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but like headaches. Because
yeah.
I've been working a lot at like I've been doing different meditations and I've got, oh, I should have grabbed it. I've got a blue lotus
Oh yeah.
oil that I use it on my whole face, but it's really good for the third eye. And then I went through like a few days of like crazy headaches. And actually it was Wendy with the AO scanner one night when me and her were just having like a private Zoom chat. And she's like, oh, why don't I send you some healing frequencies? And I was like, sure, you know. And then we're chatting throughout the night or like throughout our chat. And it was like probably like 15 minutes later or so, I was like, did you send me that frequency? And she's like, yeah, how are you doing? And I'm like, it's gone. Like it wasn't
Oh,
completely gone, but it wasn't like throbbing anymore to the point like it had been throbbing like that for a good 3 days.
yeah. Oh wow.
So yeah, it's cool. And I feel like a lot of that too has to do with, you know, the whole
Yeah,
ascension. And
yeah.
so yeah,
I've
you're right.
um yeah, I often get those as well, and
I'm shuffling in case you guys can hear it. It's always like loud shuffling on. I'm a shuffler though. That's how I pull cards. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Little Bean. Hello, hello, night owls. Yeah, I didn't realize how late it was. I'll pull a card for the collective here. We pick crystals for our customers by feeling the energy that's calling out for them. My God, see, I love Harley Ray, you guys. Seriously, the link is up top. If you haven't checked them out, please go check them out. They're amazing souls. Oh, I just love that.
yeah,
So they said we pick the crystals for our customers by feeling the energy that's calling out for them. Like seriously, how beautiful is that?
that is
I love
phenomenal.
it. Yeah, Shauna, crystals everywhere. If I was a bra wearer when I used to be, they were in my bra as well. But I don't like those things. Okay, let's see. See what message would like to come out for the collective. That for highest, most loving good only on this 1010 portal. Woo, woo. That was close to the flame.
Did
I
something?
should have moved the candle. I didn't think about that.
Did it just pop out, or?
Yeah,
Only?
it flew out. This one
Oh,
wanted to come out.
is that you like it? Did it happen right when you said, "Let's see what messages"?
Yeah.
What card was it?
Let's see. Okay, pull this. This is beautiful. I mean, I know I say this every time I pull from this deck, but this deck is absolutely beautiful. We were talking about the violet flame. I see a lot of the violet flame in there. This looks like she's really like, I feel like she's like putting her crown on her, right?
Yeah, she's
I like that.
putting on her crown chakra.
Let's
She's
see.
connecting.
Reclaim your energy. Our energy is our responsibility, and how we give it always becomes a conscious choice as we step into empowerment. And yes, it's possible to restore the fragments of self we gave away before we came to this awareness. You have the power to own your energy. the choice where you direct it. If you are not in an optimal vibration, consider the core of why this may be. Detach from depleting influences and boost positivity. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is up to you to make the shift. Transform your life by choosing healing and self-empowerment. Kickstart the upward spiral of abundance, energy, and soul presence.
Wow.
Like
That's
these cards never like seem to like shock me or amazing. They're always like bang on for any like readings. I truly like that's exactly what we were talking about. I don't know
yeah.
if you guys can see that really good.
That's why I jumped out at you.
That's why it jumped out. Like
Yeah.
and it really is like I feel, you know, this time with this full moon, like we talked about the Aries full moon that we just had, it really was like I spoke about in my, if you missed it, I did do a reading the other day about like using this energy to burn away anything that is no longer of service to your highest, most loving good, so that you can truly step into your true authenticity, to your unique light, to shine that. I really feel that October is going to bring that for a lot of people. Yeah. So there's the card to end the night off with. Justin, thank you so much for being willing to jump on.
Thank you for having me. It's been so
Yeah,
much
anytime. And again, big shout out to Ocean. Thank you for encouraging me to jump on tonight, and for each and every one of you in the chat or that may come, you know, watch this later. I love you all so much. I wish you so much love, joy, abundance, and I'm just so grateful for you guys.
Thank you everyone for being so welcoming to me too. I really appreciate it.
I love these chats. Like it really is such an amazing like community to be around. Like you guys truly are soul tribe, soul family. Like I mean that when I say that. I'm not the type of person that just says things. I really have to mean that. So yeah. So thank you guys all so much for being a part of this. Have an amazing night. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Have a good night.
Bye.